Hello. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, students. Okay, so let's wait for the other two guests to be here first. Okay, okay,
Hi,
okay.
hi everyone.
The other two guests are also here. All right, so let me introduce myself. I am Karina from the Admissions Office of Hong Kong Baptist University. So thank you so much for joining today's webinar. I'm the host of today. So you can see that there are two special guests joining with me, and they are Jason from the Center for Innovative Service Learning. And then we also have Sunny. He is a current student from the Government and International Studies program. Okay, so let me share with you the rundown of today's webinar. So in the coming 30 minutes, Jason and Sunny will talk about the service learning opportunity and also the project courses offered by HKBU. And then we will have a little Q&A section. So if you have any questions about service learning, if you want to learn more, ask more about that, feel free to type up your question in the question box. And then we three of us, okay, will answer the questions one by one. And then afterwards, I will have a very brief introduction about Hong Kong and also Hong Kong Baptist University. And so if you have any questions about admissions or about the student life or about the programs, you can leave it till the end, okay? Because I'm going to have another Q&A section at the end. So, and I'm going to answer all of the admissions question and also the student life programs question. Okay, so if there is no more question, I will pass over to Jason and Sunny and let them talk about the service learning. Okay, so let me share Jason's screen first.
All right, so hi everyone. I will get started. So thanks Karina, and also thanks to the admissions office of HKBU for inviting us today to give this webinar. Title as To Care and to be Cared, Service Learning and Empathy in a Globalizing World. I'm not sure whether some of you in different parts of the world have encountered the word or this particular pedagogy, service learning, before. So if you actually have no idea what it is, don't worry. Today we are here precisely to tell you more about what it is and why is it unique at HKBU, and of course with other information about our courses, our program as well. So I bet for those of you who are here today must have already seen this poster for promoting this particular webinar. So Karina has already introduced me. This is Dr. Jason Ho from the Center for Innovative Service Learning. Our center actually links up different instructors to students and also to community partners in conducting different types of service projects that we will be introducing very soon. And together with me here will be Sunny, which is a final year student at HKBU from the Department of Government and International Studies. So later on, he will also share with us his experience in taking service learning courses and what his feelings are and what experience he had in having the time with us. So I will pass the time to him later on. So this is basically the synopsis or the blurb of today's talk. So I bet all of you have read it. So I will simply skip it, all right, and go directly to today's content. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, so maybe for some of you, you even haven't heard of service learning before. As you can tell, service learning basically consists of course, service, which you can imagine different kind of programs and activities that are trying to benefit and of course show our care. If you know something about HKBU, we always claim that caring is our DNA, so to speak. So service or service learning is a very good way to try to benefit the community, the society, and actually the world at large. And the other part of service learning, obviously, will be the elements, the academic elements. So what kind of learning students can take away from partaking in these activities. And in that particular process, build up something very important, what we call empathy. trying to understand different people, their situation, their hardships, or even suffering in the community and in the society. Now, one thing very intriguing about service learning, which whenever we introduce to different people, will be the hyphen in between. Why? Precisely because we would like to put forward that very fact that both service and learning in service learning count. In other words, they are of equal importance, and they are both of equal significance in terms of serving and also in terms of learning. Later on, when the examples come in, this will become clearer, hopefully. So from a kind of layman point of view to actually a scholarly point of view. So as a matter of fact, like what I mentioned at the very beginning, service learning has actually become this worldwide kind of common pedagogy, a way of teaching different students in universities. So a lot of scholars have actually been investing their time to actually study what service learning is, their impact, etc. So just to recap a little bit, of course, it's about community service, but how it also combines academic learning and how the two have equal emphasis, and how students, through engaging in service learning, address human and community needs. And last but not least, very importantly, is about that point regarding reflection. In other words, after you have done a certain service learning project or activity, you have to go back to the classroom, do a presentation, maybe some kind of a reflective journal, etc. All right, in order to reflect upon your experience. So, as some may say, after service learning, you might have to unlearn something, all right, some of your previous maybe theoretical knowledge, etc. All right, and maybe to see whether your kind of knowledge is able to be applied to the actual world, etc. So in a nutshell, simply put, these are the three main components of service learning, namely the academic content, what you have learned in the classroom, through doing a certain service project, and that particular part of reflection that I mentioned just now. All right, so academic content, service, and reflection. Now, I know this is something very practical, so you might be wondering, okay, so I go to university and my plan maybe was to enter different classrooms, different lecture halls to learn something about a specific discipline. So why do I need to walk out of the classroom for that matter? All right, so what would be the benefits of service learning? And maybe to go back to today's webinar's title, how has it got something to do with our globalizing world, with globalization? All right, now, so we'd like to mention something, all right, about how service learning benefits you as students, instructors, your future teachers, professors, and also what we call our community partners. For instructors, I'll be very brief. Usually from our survey, etc., teachers always come back to us saying that, wow, after conducting service learning in their courses, their teaching has been improved. They also help them to connect teaching with the community, all right, that very notion of the world as one. And as you know, thinking about COVID-19, for instance, the so-called local, they are no longer so-called local issues. A lot of local issues are actually global issues, all right? So doing service learning actually help them address a different kind of both local and global issues. As for the community partners, of course, our students are able to help them develop a lot of meaningful projects, and you students, you youngsters, all right, entering the community will be able to offer a lot of new ideas to them. As for you students, of course, one very important thing regarding service learning will be to raise the kind of social awareness of different kind of both local and global issues. And very importantly, all right, as recent surveys point out, all right, that it also helps build your resume, all right, in terms of being competitive in the market and also to increase your employability. So this will be something, all right, that we will even emphasize more if you have the chance to enter HKBU, all right, and we hope that we'll have the chance to tell you more about that. Now, maybe up to this point, you might be wondering, all right, or that, wow, actually service learning sounds quite familiar to some of the things that I've heard before, namely, for example, doing voluntary work and also internship. Now, something very intriguing will be, we actually always emphasize that service learning is precisely not doing voluntary job. What do you mean by that? For instance, think about you go to, for example, a voluntary trip on a weekend, something like that. All right, you engage in a voluntary work that has got nothing to do with what you have studied. And after that particular trip, that's it. All right, there are no reflections whatsoever. All right, and that's it. You just feel good. All right, and that's the end. That's precisely not service learning, all right, to recall what we mentioned at the very beginning, all right, that it involves that very important part of applying your academic knowledge to the community. And secondly, if more importantly, the reflection part is also very important. As for internship, all right, it is also not internship. Maybe I think most of the audience today here are too young to have been interns before, but you might have heard from your seniors previously. All right, that very often internships may or may not involve the kind of application of your own expertise from your own discipline, all right, to the workplace. And secondly, that mode of reflection might not be necessarily there as well. All right, so you might try to argue that service learning is something in between the two, all right, namely doing voluntary job and internship. I think just to give you this example, okay, will give you a very good sense, all right, of how and why service learning is not voluntary service. We have actually got this course, all right, that I will be mentioning a little bit more very soon, a course on food analysis. If it's just about doing voluntary service, all right, it will be having students to collect unsold bread, all right, from a bakery shop, all right, and then to distribute them to those in need. But with service learning, we actually ask students to use their professional knowledge. In this case, what they call microbiome analysis, all right, to make sure that the bread is still safe to eat before distributing to those who are in need, all right. And that's not the end of the story. After the whole thing takes place, they still have to go back to the classroom, all right, to do a presentation, etc., to reflect on the experience. That is service learning. Okay, now, so after a very brief introduction of what service learning is, I would like to give you maybe a few examples from a wide range of different disciplines at HKBU to, again, give you more sense, all right, of what service learning is, all right, from different departments, different faculties. So in the following section, I'll be highlighting a few signature projects of ours, which cover different types of service learning. I won't go into great detail about that, but actually for service learning, at least there are 4 major categories. What we call direct service, which students have direct interaction with what we call the service users or the learners. Indirect service, something that you will know very soon about maybe campaigning or helping what we call NGOs, non-government organizations, to do different types of work, which may or may not have direct interaction with service users. And the remaining 2 will be what we call research service, all right, and also advocacy projects, all right, that I will be giving you examples very soon. So the first example of direct service will be actually from the example that I've mentioned briefly just now, all right, from the Department of Chemistry. So as you can see from this picture, the one on the left is one of our professors. He actually designs the course in such a way that he himself, he is really hardworking in a sense, all right, that he himself also accompanies his students to go to different bakery shops to collect those bread. As I mentioned, after undergoing some tests, some experiments, making sure that the bread is still edible, and then to distribute them to, for example, the elderly, some dwellers in the street, etc. All right, so this is the first example. 2 more examples, also from more like the science discipline. The one on the left is from the Department of Biology. As a matter of fact, service learning very often collaborates with primary and secondary schools. So our students, namely university students, become what we call big brother or big sister figures, and to go to secondary schools to teach the younger generation some kind of specific knowledge of their own. For instance, in this picture, in this particular example, they went to the laboratories of a certain secondary school, all right, and teach them theories about fermentation, okay, which is a very interesting experience. Both secondary school students and university students had a great time. On your right are students from our Department of Sport and Physical Education. All right, as you can tell, the one in the middle is our service user, one member of a big elderly home, and our students from sports and physical education design different programs to actually help enhance their physical health. So, all right, so again, using their own knowledge to apply to real life situation. Again, as after some interviews, after the interview activities, the elderly had a really great time with our students. Chinese medicine, I bet Karina might mention a little bit about this particular faculty later on, all right? And maybe if you have done some research about HKBU, you will know that this is one of our very famous faculties. So Chinese medicine you can imagine, a lot of service learning activities. They arrange students to go to a lot of different places like elderly homes, maybe to practice and apply their skills. For example, what we call toila, some kind of Chinese massage, and also acupuncture and different kind of medical checks. All right, so again, something very direct, having direct interaction with our service users. For this, might not be directly relevant to you because it involves Chinese. All right, so if you don't know Chinese, this might not be the best example. But again, just to give you an extra example, all right, of our so-called direct service projects. So for this case, this is a Chinese lyrics writing course. And the instructor of the course actually assigns students to interview marginalized populations in the society. All right, and based on that particular interview, asking them to write a piece of lyrics of that particular subject. All right, and at the end of the course, they organize a concert. The composers actually sing their own songs, and the service users are being invited to the venue. So a very warm, very caring environment. All right, in this particular case. And last but not least, all right, is a course on Model European Union. Actually, in picture on the left, you actually see Sunny there, all right, our guest student representative, all right. So I won't detailing too much about this course, all right, and I will leave him later, all right, to tell you more about this particular case. So that's all about direct service. Indirect service will be like what I mentioned just now, how our students help, for example, NGOs, social enterprises, etc. All right, to work on different tasks, so that these companies, which are very often under-resourced, can gain help from our students. So for instance, for this case, it's a course from Department of Journalism. It's on data visualization. So students actually turn boring, dry, and dull data, all right, into something visually stimulating, okay, which really help these companies in terms of promotion, in terms of campaigning, etc. So this is what we call indirect service. Another more example, so this group of students, as you can tell, they have got both local and global international students. They actually went to this foundation called Food Angel, which is an organization that transformed unwanted vegetables into lunch boxes. All right, so they are actually part of their program. All right, and they went to process these unwanted vegetables and make lunch boxes. All right, so it's indirect in the sense that they might not have the chance to directly serve those who are in need, but in that particular process, I'm sure the kind of empathy, all right, is also definitely there being built up. And last but not least, what we call advocacy projects. Now, so for advocacy projects, usually it involves student having, for example, this kind of campaign promoting either, for example, environmentalism, promoting the significance of cultural heritage, etc. And again, in this particular picture on your right, you also see Sunny there, the one right in the middle, in the middle of the screen. So maybe instead of having me to tell you guys about not only this project, but from a student's perspective, maybe let me now invite Sunny, all right, to share with us service learning from a student's perspective. Sunny, please.
Thank you, Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm Sunny. So I'm the current student going to enter my final year in HKBU. So I think some of my stories may be able to give all of you a better understanding about the service learning in our university. So actually, before entering HKBU, I was just like most of the other local students that we were not really connected with society. Let's think about when we were in the high school. We had limited time and we had to study hard in order to fight for a better future. How were we supposed to have extra time to do extra things for our society, like caring to people in need? Yeah, of course, we all know that doing service is meaningful, and we must all know that we can also learn a lot of things while doing the work. But do we really have the motivation to do it? Let me ask you, have you ever cared about the people surrounding you? Maybe your friends, your family, but how about your neighbors or the people in need in your society, like ethnic minority group or the little orphans with their parents? You know that they always need help, and you are supposed to be the one who can provide hands to them because you are now going to be a university student. So I really appreciate the elements of service learning on my campus because this idea makes university life of our students much more meaningful. It is like a pushing force, and it actually provides a convenient way for us to bear the social responsibility that our students should have. We can now care more about different things apart from only caring the knowledge we learn from the books. Maybe some of you will feel like, oh, service learning may be stressing because it may cause more work for the students to do in a course. But frankly, I also had similar feeling before taking the courses. But after taking some of the courses, I can tell you that this worry is actually unnecessary because the section of the service learning in a course is usually full of fun. Normally, it will be something like a group social project in relation to the things you have learned in the course. Every course has different kinds of social project, but it is basically like you need to apply your professional knowledge in a real life project. But actually the professor has planned everything for you. So what you need to do is just follow the guidelines in the course, and then I'm sure you can get a good grade on it. For example, I took a course about Hong Kong politics, and the professor divided us into a group of 8 people, and our task was to carry out a campaign or a mini social event to raise the public awareness regarding some problems we have learned in the course. So actually the course is just related to the picture that you see us wearing the dolphins, the dolphin costume. And technically we could do all the things we want in the project, like if we care about the tortoise, then we carry out an event for the tortoise. And if we care about the dolphins, then we can do something for the dolphins. And my topic obviously was actually about the dolphins because I wore the dolphin costume. So after the group discussion in the course, my friends and I bought some dolphin costume online and then wore them in a public area to deliver some leaflets that we made in order to tell people about the marine problem that the dolphins are facing. Actually, the workload was pretty low, as you can think. 8 people to finish one campaign. It sounds pretty easy, right? And the costume we bought and the leaflets we printed were actually totally paid by the university, that students did not need to pay any buck. During our campaign, we had so much fun and we were really satisfied because many people actually came to take pictures with us and talk with us. And listen, what's more is that at the end of this campaign, we all got a good grade in terms of the social project. So I'm sure you will enjoy your future service learning courses, have fun with that, and have a good grade with that. Apart from that, service learning projects can let you make more friends because it is the most interactive moment in the course. It is more easy for students to get along with each other. For example, when I took a course about the model European Union, I made lots of friends, including my classmates and the service targets. In this course, each of our students are paired up with a buddy who is in ethnic minority group in Hong Kong. And what we need to do in this course is to finish a project with our buddy regarding the European political situation. They were actually high school students only, but they tried their very hard to study with us. So the buddies were like our partner. We read the documents together, did research together, and did the presentation together. During the partnership, we always talked and took care of each other, that we were so close. Maybe you can have a look on the picture here. These two were actually the buddies in the course, and they were just like my little sisters in the course. We even took boomerang on the Instagram together, and this picture is actually the screenshot of the boomerang. So you may observe that we are maybe a bit like emotion in this picture because actually we are moving. Service learning courses can certainly link you with others to have a good friendship and to have more people to give likes to your picture on Instagram, if this means a thing to you. So there are many advantages brought by the service learning, and that's why it is now highlighted in HKBU. And our university does not only organize the service learning courses, but also some workshops and seminars about service learning so that more students can benefit from this idea. Sometimes I will also be the ambassador to help my university organize the service learning events. There are actually many different kinds of the events. So here is one of my advice. Make sure you stay close with the CISL, the Center for Innovative Service Learning, when you are studying in HKBU, so that you can make sure yourself don't miss anything about service learning. Actually, the more I work for service learning, the more I believe it is the right way for our students' personal development. Service learning is not only showing your love to others, but also a chance for you to learn how to love and care about others. So it is a win-win situation, good to both the service target and the service provider, that is you. Because service learning can let you learn something that a professor may not be able to really tell you in a lecture room. For example, you can learn the word empathy, and you can learn how to spell it in the lecture room. So like EMPATHY, so everyone can spell it. But only service learning can let you fully understand what is empathy and how to show your empathy to others in the right way. It is an ability to understand others and so as to give proper responses to them. Without service learning, our students may probably be a nerd only with academic knowledge, but without the real ability to take care of others psychologically or physically. So our students after the service learning can actually be a better person. And I'm glad that I can be one of the students' helpers to promote this idea for my campus. Last but not least, I sincerely hope that all of you can try to have service learning and benefit from it. It is always not too late to learn to care about others. And this is the end of my sharing. And now I will pass the time back to Jason. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sunny. So hope that after you actually listen, what a student who has taken at least 2 service learning courses from our center, you have a better idea what service learning is, all right, especially from your point of view, namely students' point of view. All right. Time is almost up, but I would like to wrap up a little bit, all right, by sharing with you the following. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning, so right now, under the threat of COVID-19, there are hardly any so-called local issues. Local issues become global issues, and actually global issues are shared by the local community. And you may be wondering, wow, so you guys emphasize so much on getting directly in touch with the service users, the learners in service learning. So what have you been doing during the COVID-19? All right, so what have you been doing when supposedly there should be social distancing? So this is something that I would like to share with you guys actually to wrap up our presentation here. So to us, social distance doesn't necessarily mean to give up empathy. For our center and actually for HKBU, we have been doing a lot during the COVID-19 outbreak to show our care, our concern, and precisely our empathy to the community and to the society, which may be suffering or having a lot of hardships. Our university has launched this community campaign called Beat the Virus, BUNI. Later on, you can have a chance to take a look at some of the projects, all right, of this particular campaign. As for our Center for Service Learning, we have actually contributed to a number of very important projects in this particular campaign. For instance, the department where Sunny comes from, the Department of Government and International Studies, they collaborate with the French Chamber Foundation on a fundraising campaign, and the money being raised will be given to what we call the working poor, to support them to buy, for example, sanitizers, masks, and all basically the necessities during the COVID-19 outbreak. So this is one of the examples. The second one, which involves a lot of global international students, is an initiative from the Department of Computer Science called Virtual Hack and Design Challenge. So different people, different talents from all over the world, literally all over the world, came together, similar to what we are doing right now, through Zoom, through different types of webinars, etc., to come up with solutions in order to combat against COVID-19 and also different ideas to prevent, for example, the next round of outbursts of virus, etc. All right, something very meaningful. This one is actually related to one of the examples that I gave earlier from the Department of Humanities and Creative Writing. Students who have written lyrics for some of the very important people in our society right now. Those frontline staff, in the hospital, nurses, doctors, and also actually drivers and also security guards. 3 music videos were made in connection to these lyrics to actually devote our word of thanks to these very important people during the outbreak of COVID-19. So these are some of our empathetic endeavors, all right, to actually contribute to the community and the society right now. And of course, for instance, for our own center, we have also raised earlier this year a mass donation campaign when the entire society literally was fighting for masks. We tried to solicit some of them, all right, and to donate them to different NGOs and different organizations, including the one that you are seeing right now on the screen, the Hong Kong Blind Union. So that we hope that our little help can actually contribute to the well-being of different people, all right. And going back to the point that I mentioned earlier on, all right, that the world as one, all right. So I dare say service learning and also empathy are something that is even more needed, all right, in the era of globalization, in a globalizing world right now. So I find this webinar very, actually very relatable, all right, in terms of knowing that I know a lot of attendees here today, all right, comes from different parts of the world. All right, so it's actually very difficult for me and Sunny actually to describe our work in only half an hour. So feel free to contact us anytime if you'd like to know more about service learning, more about our projects. Feel free to email us. I'll put down our email address here, and basically on our website, Facebook, Instagram, you have got a lot of information regarding our service learning courses and projects, including this publication, all right, one of our latest publications called Twofold. From our website, you will be able to take a look at it, all right, and you will see a lot of our previous courses and projects in relation to service learning. So thank you very much. I think I will pass the time back to Karina, all right, and she will help us conduct a Q&A session on service learning. So okay. Karina, please.
Okay, thank you, Jason, and thank you, Sunny, for the very meaningful and useful presentation for the service learning. So it's now the Q&A section for the presentation. So if you have any questions about service learning, please, you can type up your questions now in the question box, and then we can see that, and we will answer it one by one. So have questions, just type up now. So, okay, so let's see if we have any question. Okay, so we have one question. Okay, I think this student is asking about if I cannot speak Cantonese, so can I join any service learning courses that require to speak to local people? Okay, so Jason, what do you think?
Definitely. Actually, from some of our photos that we have shown you just now on the PowerPoint slides, you actually see a lot of different international students from both other parts of Asia and literally all over the world. So don't worry about the part in terms of, for example, communication. Usually, our instructors are, again, very caring, so to speak, when they split different students into different groups. So they will always arrange, for example, local students and international students, all right, in one group, so that in case, for instance, that they have to go to the community to talk to what we call the Gai Form, the neighborhood, our local students can help with doing some very brief translation work and interpreting. So that's not a problem at all. But a very good question here, all right? The way we design our service learning activities, our programs, always take into consideration the needs of our international students.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there is another question. Okay, the student is asking about if I study BBA, can I take another service learning courses in other school or faculty? So what is the advice? Can they do so?
Absolutely. Now, usually for our service learning components, they will be incorporated into what we call elective courses. So these elective courses, for most of them, they are open to all disciplines. Of course, some of them might have what we call prerequisites. All right, so you maybe have to be that particular major in order to take that elective course. But then, for instance, some of the courses that Sunny mentioned, for example, they basically welcome students from any disciplines. For instance, that course called Government and Politics of Hong Kong, there are a lot of visiting students who are not majoring in, for example, politics or international studies. So that shouldn't be a problem. So don't worry about that.
Okay, okay. Another question. I think this question is for Sunny. Okay, so
Okay.
one of the students is asking about what is the most challenging thing when you participate in all these service learning projects?
Oh, so as for the most challenging part in a service learning project, I think it will be maybe the communication for me, as you may need to communicate with your service target or your group mates. But if you are an outgoing person, certainly it will be easy for you to handle the project. But if you are maybe a relatively introverted person, you may be shy when you are talking with others, but still no worries. Both your service targets and your group mates are always being friendly to you. So maybe what you need to do is just take the first step to start the conversation. Then everything, I'm sure, will be fine. And hopefully you can make many friends after that.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Sunny. Okay, one more question. So can I start to take service learning courses in year one? So
Yes.
yeah,
For some
do that.
of our courses, they are first year courses. But indeed, most of them are what we call senior level courses. So at least year two, I would say. But then occasionally there are also what we call level one or year one courses that are also invite first year students, freshmen, what we call, to take. All right, so there are examples as such.
Okay, okay. Another question. Okay, I wanted to know how is service learning performed effectively under pandemic situation and how international students can get interacted.
This is again a very good question in connection to the outburst of COVID-19. Indeed, for instance, in the previous semester, in the previous few months, a lot of our service learning projects have to be transformed into, for example, online mode. So, for instance, the course that I myself taught, just to give an example. Uh, at the very beginning, they are supposed to go into the community to interview some marginalized populations, maybe the elderly, maybe ethnic minorities, etc. But of course, to have social distancing, all right, and to be quarantined at home, they are advised and actually suggest not to do so, and instead they conduct Zoom interviews, so that they will still be safe, and to still conduct the service still effectively. As for non-local or international students, again, relying on the kind of online mode will be essential. So it could be some kind of online campaigning that some of the courses also actually effectively did in the previous semester. But this is actually a very wise question. All right, this is something that I would say not only global students, but even for local students, they are having concern. In the coming semester, actually our senior management has just announced that in the coming semester there will also be online teaching and learning. So we will be facing a very similar, I won't say difficulty, but kind of like a challenge. But I'm sure our students will be able to adapt to the new mode of service learning.
Okay, so I think there's no more question about service learning. Okay, so now it's my turn. Okay, so let me talk about a briefly introduction about Hong Kong and Hong Kong Baptist University, because time is running short. Okay, I will have a very brief introduction. Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay, so let's talk about Hong Kong first. Okay, personally, I think Hong Kong is a place which is suitable for many people to live, because no matter what living style you have, I think you can find a way to enjoy Hong Kong. If you like eating, okay, if you are looking for a very nice dining experience, I think Hong Kong is a place that you will be in love with it, because there are a lot of restaurants and different types of cuisine that you can enjoy. And if you are shopaholics, okay, you will be amazed with all the shopping centers and also the street markets in Hong Kong. And some of the street markets are even open till midnight. So that is a very good news to all the people who are in love with with shopping, okay? And because Hong Kong is a vibrant city, so from late night dining and also to the club, you can experience a very legendary like life in Hong Kong. And then if you like to join some outdoor activities, okay, so you can also find something that you will be enjoy. Okay, you will be enjoying, because you can see that we have a lot of hiking trails. Okay, so in this picture, this is one of the hiking trail, that is the Lion Walk hike. Okay, so in fact, when you climb on the top of the Lion Walk, you will see our campus here. Okay, so I know that many of our current students, they will do some hiking during their leisure time to take a break, to explore the wild side of Hong Kong. And apart from offering you guys a very high quality of living, I think Hong Kong is also a place that offers you a lot of opportunities. One of the opportunity is the investment opportunities, because Hong Kong is the second fierce economies in the world. Okay, so many businessmen will come to Hong Kong to invest, and also many multinational companies will come to Hong Kong to set up the headquarters and also the branches. And also, there are plenty of work opportunities. So basically, if you come to study in Hong Kong, and after your graduation, you don't need to worry about your career development. Okay, you will find a lot of job opportunity, especially in some industry like fintech, IT, professional services like accounting, law. And in Hong Kong, there are altogether 8 public universities. Okay, so we are all financially supported by the Hong Kong government, and HKBU is one of the public universities. So that means we receive sufficient resources from the government to help us to enhance the campus, to enhance the facilities, so that we can provide the best study environment to you guys. And English is the medium of instructions in all of these universities, and many of them are highly ranked, okay, in the world. And in terms of the cost of studying, I think Hong Kong is relatively lower than other popular study destinations such as New York, such as Sydney, and or London. And let's move on to HKBU. So HKBU is founded in 1956, and although we are named as Baptist, but we are opening the doors to all of the students. Okay, so even though you don't have any Christian background, you can still apply us. And as I mentioned before, English is the medium of instruction, and we have a very good student to faculty ratio, which is 15:1. So to make sure that every student can receive personalized care and support from their faculty. And HKBU is a liberal arts university, which means we trained our students to be an all-round individuals. Okay, whole person education is actually just like so all-round individuals, so that you will have a general knowledge in a wide range of areas and subjects. Okay, so talking about the opportunities HKBU offer to you guys, the first opportunity will be the internship opportunities, because I know that many of students want to work, okay, to gain some working experience during the studies, and we have all these work opportunities. You can apply for the internship through the faculty, okay, or through the university, because the university has a career center, and then the career center will have a lot of job opportunity, both in campus or outside campus opportunity, okay, posted in their website. So if you look for job, you can take a look at their website or go there, go to their office and ask for career advice. So you can apply for the internship in Hong Kong or overseas. And for exchange, we always encourage our students to go on exchange, okay, to take a look at the world, okay, to learn outside your classroom. So we have more than 350 exchange partners in the world, and here are the countries that we have the exchange partners. So you can go on exchange for 1 semester or 1 year, and you just pay HKBU tuition fee. And the other opportunity will be the student residence, okay? Because we understand that all the international students, you have to leave your comfort zone, leave your home, leave your family, and then fly all the way from your home country to Hong Kong. So you basically need a home in Hong Kong. So that's why we provide student residence to all the international students. So in our campus, we have around 4 student residential hall, providing 1,700 hall places to all the students. And then we have a lot of activities, okay, organized by the hall councils, such as international festivals, such as singing contests or high table dinner. So we always encourage students to apply for student residential hall, because you can make a lot of new friends, and also you can learn how to be independent, because you don't need to count on your parents, but you can take good care of yourself, take care of yourself. I know you may ask, the 3 opportunities that I just mentioned are actually very common in other universities. So how special HKBU is? So let me share with you some aspiration of the HKBU. In HKBU, we believe that every student is unique. Okay, so we are not training all the students to be the same type of persons. Okay, we want our students to live their own life. So we hope that through our opportunities, through our programs, through our curriculum, we can help you guys to find your unique attributes. Okay, to find your values, so that you can contribute to the community, to the world. So first of all, be creative, okay? We hope to unlock your creativity. So we have a lot of interest club and student societies to develop diversified talents. And if you are interested in any of them, feel free to join, so that it can help you to enrich your students' experience in the area other than the studying disciplines. And we also encourage students to be an innovator. We provide an entrepreneurial atmosphere. Okay, we promote, we encourage idea generation. We encourage you guys to participate in research, to have innovation, or you can do startup. Okay, you can have your own business, and we are here to help you. Okay. And also, we hope our students can be a global citizen. So we strive very hard to make collaboration with different top universities in the world to offer some double degree program, which is the joint university program. So here are some of the programs we have. So for example, you can see that we have collaboration with Simon Fraser. We have collaboration with Community University in Poland, and also the University of Queensland, and also the University of Missouri. Okay, so we hope that through all these 2+2 double degree programs, you can learn out of your classroom, you can widen your horizon. Okay, so for all these programs, basically, when you finish the double degree program, you will earn 2 degrees, okay? 1 degree from HKBU, and then the other degree from one of these universities. And of course, we also want to provide a very internationalized campus to our students. So we bring the world back to campus. We want to organize a lot of international activities to our students. Even though you cannot fly to other countries, even though you stayed in your campus, you still can interact with people from different countries, from different backgrounds. So you can see that here are some of the activities that we organize. And then the last one will be caring. Okay, we always want our students to be a caring person through the service learning opportunities. We want our students to care about our community, to serve our community. So I think for the service learning part, I'm not going into details because this part has already been covered by Jason and Sunny. Okay, so you can see that from the pictures here are some of our BU graduates. They all have their unique stories and they have a very great achievement and shining in different industry. And I hope that in one day, your unique story will also be appear in this slide so that you can also serve the community, you can also contribute, all right? So now let's move on to some practical information, which is the program information. Okay, so in HKBU, we have 7 faculty, schools, and academy, namely Faculty of Arts, School of Business, School of Chinese Medicine, School of Communication, Faculty of Science, Faculty of Social Sciences, and also Academy of Visual Arts. Because we don't have enough time, so I'm not going to explain each program one by one. So if you want to take a look at the full list of the major programs offered by these 7 schools, you can scan the QR code here, and then you can see the details. In order to apply, you have to fulfill 2 requirements. The first one will be the university entrance requirements. So here are just some of the recognized international qualification. In fact, we recognize a lot of regional curricula, international curricula. So you can take a look at our website to see the minimum requirement of different qualification. And apart from the university entrance requirement, you also have to satisfy the English language requirement. So again, here are just some common international or English tests that we recognize, for example, TOEFL or IELTS. Again, you just need to take one English test to fulfill the English requirement. You don't need to take all of them. So to apply, okay, we usually have 3 rounds of application. For the early round application, it will start in September till end of November. And then for the main round of application, it will start from December to early Jan. And then for the extended round will be from January to end of May. You simply go to our website and then you submit the online application, and you can make 2 choices, maximum 2 choices. And then you will be invited for interview or audition, or even you're invited to submit the portfolio. Okay, so just stay tuned with us. Okay, talking about the cost of studying, the fees and expenses. So as I mentioned, the cost of studying is relatively low compared with other popular study destination. So you can see that in terms of the tuition fee. So for HKBU, it's just cost around 140,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is 18,000 USD dollars. Okay. And together with the hall fee and also the estimated personal expenses. So altogether, it's around 194,000 Hong Kong dollars per year. And working on campus is allowed, because I know that some of the students may want to earn some pocket money during your study. Okay, so you are allowed to do so. You can do on-campus job, okay, during the fall or spring semester. And in summertime, if you want to stay in Hong Kong and don't want to go back home, you are allowed to do so. You can find full-time summer job. All right. Okay, and for the scholarship, we have different type of scholarship. And for the highest amount of the scholarship will be the full scholarship. That is up to 190,000 Hong Kong dollars. Basically covers all the tuition fee, hall fees, and also personal expenses. So you don't need to pay anything, but then you can study at HKBU. And then we also have the Hong Kong government scholarship, which is in particular for the Belt and Road countries. And we also have other types of scholarship like one-off scholarship or tuition waiver. So if you want to know more about the scholarship, you can click on the link here. So I have just briefly introduced Hong Kong and also Hong Kong Baptist University to you guys. So if you want to learn more about us, you can take a look at our website, or you can send us an email and we will answer your questions. Okay, so my presentation comes to an end. So if you have any questions about admissions or about the university or about program, you can type up your question now, and then me, Jason, or Sunny are going to answer it. Okay, so let me invite Jason and also Sunny, yeah, to come back to join with me first. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I see that there is one question about the 2021 entry. So when will the entry of 2021 open, and are there scholarship for 2021 entry in HKBU? Okay, so for the exact day, we still have not yet confirmed, but usually the application will start in September. Okay, so just stay tuned with us. We will post all the updated application period details, okay, in our website. And for the scholarship, yes, as I mentioned before, we have scholarship. We have different types of scholarship, and you do not need to submit separate application for scholarship. When you submit your admission application, we will automatically consider you. Okay, so when you receive offer, you will know that whether you can entitle any scholarship. All right. And then another question. Okay, so if we study in computer field, will we get chance to work or not? Okay, I think in the first few slide about Hong Kong, as I mentioned, you don't need to worry about the career development, because you will find a lot of job opportunities, and even you can ask for advice, okay, from the faculty or from the career center. And I think according to past statistics, many students will stay in Hong Kong. I mean, for international students, will stay in Hong Kong, okay, and then to continue to find a job, and then get a job, and then work for a few years, and then go back to home country. So you don't need to worry about the job opportunity. Okay, so is there any other questions? Okay. Okay, so some of the students is asking about, will freshmen study online or face-to-face? Okay, so actually the university has already prepared for the mixed mode of online learning and teaching. Okay, so you can stay tuned with us. When we have more update, we will definitely reach you through the email. In fact, we keep monitoring the situation every day, and the things are changing every day. So the arrangements is always changing, but we are going to update you when we have more confirmed the details. Okay. Okay, so another student is asking about I will study social science. I will be happy if you tell me more details, because I'm preparing for the first year. Can you tell me about the homework and subjects? Okay, so for social science, because for the social science, it depends on which program I guess you are the freshman, right? So it depends on which program you get admitted, okay? Because for those who are admitted to social science program through the board-based pathway, okay? So for the first year, you usually will take some general courses, okay? Some basic courses, okay? And then to allow you to get a taste of different subjects under social sciences. And then you will find your interested programs, and then you can declare your major later on in year 2. But of course, for more details about the subjects that you need to take, and also the programs details, I guess you may have to take a look at the social science website. And of course, I can also email you more details later on. Okay. Okay. I think. Okay, another question. Okay, I think the other question will be about the online teachings, all these things. I think the questions wasted are all wasted by the freshmen. In fact, we are going to send you all the details, okay, about the online teaching arrangement, okay, very soon. So just stay tuned with us. So I'm not going to answer it here because some of the audience are actually prospective students. So I think I can answer it through the email later on. Okay, so another students asked about okay, will my scholarship cover it if I take a minor subject? Okay, do I have to pay for it separately? If I am a full scholarship recipient. Okay, so as I mentioned before, if you are a full scholarship recipient, basically you don't need to pay anything, okay? Because it covers the tuition fee, okay, and also it covers the hall fees and then the estimated personal expenses, okay? So you don't need to pay extra things if you take minor subjects or take other subjects or courses. Okay. Okay, can I know more about art faculty? Okay, so for art faculty, it adopts program-based admission and also the board-based admission. So program-based admission, which means you will be you have to select one of the program choices as the application choice, and then that means when you get the offer, you will directly admit it to the program, and then you don't need to declare major in the second year. And I think for the art, the major programs are offered by the art faculty. For example, the English, Chinese, and translation, creative and professional writing. Actually, we have a lot of major programs offered by the art faculty. So, in fact, later on, you can go to our website, and then there is a very details of the major programs offered by the art faculty. You can take a look of that. You can see the slide here. Here is the website link that you can go there, and then you will see a section which is the programs on offer, and then you press the faculty, art faculty, and then you will see all the major programs offered by the art faculty. Okay, so any more questions? Okay, so if there is no more question, okay, so I have to end the webinars here. Okay, so thank you once again for joining today's webinar. So if you have any questions, feel free to email us. You can see the email address here. We will answer it. And for those questions, for example, especially for the questions raised by the freshmen, we will definitely email you the arrangement very soon. Okay, stay tuned with us. So thank you, Jason, and thank you, Sunny, okay, for the presentation. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you.